first grade. We're going to be doing science. We're starting a new chapter. So you will need your next packet. This one is entitled Heart and Blood. That's what we're going to be studying about today. So we're learning more and more about this fabulous body that God created for us, how it all works together, and it is just perfect in every way. Well, we're going to study about our heart. So this is a model, and it has a lot of different parts to the heart. We'll talk more about that on another day, but this kind of just gives you an idea. If you were to put your hand in a fist, as you can, see your heart is actually about the size of your fist. So give that a try. I used to always think hearts were so much larger. They have such a big job to do. But this is actually more of what the size really is. Now, the heart plays a really important part in our body. Now, if you stop and think, I need to breathe. I need to breathe. In, out. Do we have to do that? No. God created us so our heart just goes on its own. When we're sleeping, does our heart keep pumping? Yes, of course it does. And you know what it's pumping? It's pumping the blood through our body. It doesn't, our blood, when it's in our veins, it doesn't just sit there. It has to keep moving and circulating in our bodies. It goes into our heart. It gets what's called oxidized. It gets oxygen put back into it, and it flows back out, and it stays in our veins. So we're going to learn about that today. Now, this is just an example. Our heart pumps, so it kind of like relaxes and tightens, relaxes and tightens. I'm going to show you, if you were to have a tube of toothpaste, and I opened the lid, what is going to happen if I squeeze on this tube of toothpaste? If you said toothpaste will come out, you're right. That's to kind of show you that the pressure of me pushing on this toothpaste is kind of like your heart pumping that blood through your body. So that's just a way. You might also think about your heart and, you can feel it. You can feel your heartbeat. There's a few places in your body that you're able to do that. So let's go ahead, and we're going to open up our packets to the very first page today, and I'm going to read it. There's just reading on this particular page with some diagrams, okay? So the heart is a part of the body that pumps your blood. So right here we have a little girl, and she has placed her hand over her heart. It's kind of like what we do when we pledge to the flag. And if you have your hand here and you pause, you can feel your heart beating. Yes, you can. Also, right here, there's some veins right up in here on the side of your neck. If you take a couple fingers and you put them on the side of the neck, you can check your heart rate also there. Give it a try. Sometimes you have to move your fingers around just a little bit in order to find that perfect spot. Oh, I feel mine right now. Okay, and then there's another one right here at the inside of your wrist. If you were to place a couple fingers right there, I'll give you a moment. Kind of move it around till you find that perfect spot. I found mine. Hopefully you were able to find yours. So the heart is such a strong pump. It has such a big job to do for our body. It pushes the blood through our entire body. So it's important to keep our heart healthy. Think about when your mom and dad are in the car and you go to the gas station and you go to the pump. They get the pump, they get that hose, and they push onto the handle once it's got the nozzle into your car, and that gas is flowing through the hose right into the car by them holding that handle tight. So that's another way things are pumped. It's just an example of how our heart does such a great job pumping that blood. Let's go ahead and turn the page. I have a couple examples I'll be showing you in a couple minutes. So you've probably gone to the doctor at some time, and the doctor pulls out a tool that is called a stethoscope, and he has it in his ears, and there's another portion that comes out, and he'll put it up to your chest, just like the picture of this little boy right here. And the doctor is listening to his heartbeat to make sure his heart is healthy. Okay? Also, there's a way you can make your own stethoscope. So, I have one already made. And if you want to try it and your mom or dad says it's okay, that's totally fine. All you really need is a tube from a paper towel roll if it's empty. So if you don't have an empty one now, maybe another day, you just take it. And what you're going to do is take a paper cup, see, paper cup, and I've cut a hole into the bottom of it. If you need help, ask for help. And then you just put it inside the one end of your paper towel tube. Now, what you're going to be able to do is, like right here, you see a picture of a couple girls. I don't have anybody here with me right now to demonstrate, but what I would be doing is I would put this up to my ear. I would put this cup portion up. We'll pretend this is another person standing right here. And I would put this in right up to where their heart is. And if you're very still and very quiet, you possibly can hear that person's heart beating. So if you do end up making one of these, maybe you could try it with if you have a sister or a brother. You could try it on your mom or dad if they're around. Or if you just have a favorite stuffed animal, like, a bacon, you can almost even just pretend to. Pretending can be fun. So, bacon, you're being really good today. We'll just let you go back over there. So, that's something you can try at home. Let's go ahead and move down to our questions. And I will read the sentences for you. Number 1. These are questions about your heart. It pumps blood through the body. Would that be your teeth do that? Your heart does that? Or your skeleton? What is your answer? Go ahead and make a circle. I will do mine right now. And if you circled the picture of the heart, you are correct. That's what pumps the blood through your body. Now, number 2, it helps a doctor hear a heartbeat. Would that be a stethoscope, a thermometer, or the light they use to look into your ear, or sometimes into your nose or down your throat? They have a little tube that has a light at the end. So, what would it be that a doctor uses to hear your heartbeat? Well, if you drew a circle around the stethoscope, you are correct. Very good. Great. So let's go ahead and move on to our very next page. There's another part in our body that is called the blood vessels. The blood vessels. So the heart is the muscle, and it's about the size of your fist. So right here is another picture of the heart, and these are all different valves and different parts, which we'll study a little bit more on another day. Right here is a picture of your body. Right up in here is actually where your heart is located. These are the veins and blood vessels. Blood flows through blood vessels. Blood carries things the body needs in order to live. You can trace the blood vessels with your fingers. Can you see there are so many of them? Oh my goodness. Once again, God created us so wonderfully. Let's go ahead and turn the page. And right here, we're going to be able to see a little bit about how our heart pumps blood through the vessels. And I have the things that we need. We're going to do a little lab, and you can watch me do it, okay? We can see how the heart pumps blood through our vessels. You will need 2 cups of water. I have water. I have a dropper, which I'll use at the very top, and I have 3 straws. And I've already put them together, and I'll show that to you. So what we need to do is I've tinted the water red just so you'll be able to see it, and it's supposed to represent the blood. But I did it in red. If I had the water just plain, you wouldn't be able to see the experiment so well. Okay, and what I'm going to do is the dropper will have some of that red water in it, and I will squeeze the dropper over the top of the straw, and then we're going to watch the water flow, and it would be representing how our blood flows through our blood vessels. So I have a straw, and there's 1 straw at the top, okay? And then what I've done is I made a slit, and I've joined 2 straws into the one, because that's kind of how all this works. As you can see, the blood vessels, there were so many of them. So you can kind of see that that's how that's going to work, okay? So I'm going to move some of my things over a little closer. You'll be able to see. And I have put some tape right here at the center joint part where I have the straws all joined. Now, the blood is going to go in here, but it'll show you how blood flows through our bodies and gets into all the different locations all over our body. So I'm going to set the straw down for just a moment. And right here is where I have my cup of my red water, and right here is my dropper. Now, to get the water to go into my dropper, I have to pull this up, and it will suck the water up. Then when I have this in place over the top straw, I'll push it down, and that is going to be like the pumping of your heart. It's going to be forcing the water to move, just like the heart forces the blood to move through your body. So let me get this ready. And I'm sucking up some of the liquid right now. Now you can see that my dropper has some of it in it right now. I'm going to hold this over the bowl because I don't want it just to spray out onto the table. Now I have put the top of the dropper into the top of the single straw. Now, unfortunately, I didn't have any clear straws at my house. I just had to use the straws that I have. But otherwise, you'd be able to see it flowing through the straws. And right now, you can see it starting to come out of the bottom. And let me fill it up again so that you're able to totally see how that worked. So I'm filling the dropper up one more time, so you'll be able to see a little more of it coming out of the straws. Okay. And I'm putting it into the top once again. So see if I can do all of this. Normally I would have one of you being my great helper, but I'm on my own today. Okay, here we go. So let me see if we can get it coming out good and forceful. There you go. You can see it coming out of those straws. So that gives you an idea of how that blood is flowing through our body. Now, if I were to take the dropper and put it at the top of the straw and just held it there, is anything happening right now? No. You know why? There's nothing forcing it or pumping it. So that's why this is like your heart. Your heart forces that blood to move through your system, and you can see how it's coming out, just like that. Okay, so what makes the blood in your body flow? What do you think it would be? I think heart would be a great answer. H-E-A-R-T. Right there. And you can also copy it. The word heart is right up here at the top line. So what makes the blood in your body flow? Your heart does. So this is what you can do. You're going to draw your heart and blood vessels, and you're like, oh, Mrs. Auntie, I don't know how to do that. I don't know where to put it. So all you have to do is look back over on the page that was just before, and right up in here is your heart. These are your blood vessels. So you don't have to do all of them. You want to just do a few. You can draw them on. So your heart will be up here, and you can draw the blood vessels all through your body. So that is the beginning of learning about our heart. And we'll continue more. So thank you for joining me. Bye for now.